Three tomatoes are walking down the street. Papa tomato, mama tomato, and baby tomato.
Plain Ketchup presents.
Starring Lindsay Hinkle and Jamie Nelson.
So this is Plain Ketchup, is it? I prefer something with a little more kick.
Everybody's favorite condiment-themed entertainment podcast.
Put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby!
Hot sauce.
Nobody puts ketchup on a hot dog.
You're listening to Hot Sauce on PlainKetchupPodcast.com. I'm Lindsay Hinkle, and my co-host Jamie Nelson is with me today.
Hello.
So, Jamie, I see you're wearing a hat.
I am wearing a hat, as I frequently do.
Yeah, how many hats would you say you have?
25, maybe?
How do you choose which hat you're going to wear each day?
I think it's a mood thing. I think most people choose hats based on things like style and color and taste, but as we know, I have zero of, any of those.
You can see color, though, right?
I can see it, but I'm very pasty.
I imagine that your hat choosing is a lot like my earring choosing. I prefer the earrings that make me look like a pirate.
You know what? I have to tend to agree with that a little bit because I like the hats that make me look the silliest. Speaking of pirates...
Are you saying that pirates are silly?
I think if you're dressed as a pirate in modern day society, like we once were, which is sort of like a job because it's community service.
Well, except that it wasn't like court ordered or anything. I want to be clear here.
Ha!
It was a volunteer experience, not community service.
I might have been trying to get confirmed.
Oh, were you?
I don't remember why the hell we did that, to be honest.
I think it's because there were pirates involved, and yeah, why did we do that?
I don't remember. I think it was Joy's idea.
Was it Joy's idea or Ben's idea?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Maybe we should tell our viewers what we're talking about.
When we were in high school, we did a volunteer project where we dressed up as pirates for, like, this thing on Saturday mornings. Kids would go on a pontoon boat ride across the lake, and then the kids would get off at this beach, and there would be little treasure chests hidden with, like, coupons for free pizza or something in them. And we'd have to chase them around and be like, "Yar, get your hands off me, treasure!"
But because children can't tell the difference between fiction and reality, they would really be passionate about defending their lives with large, pointy sticks.
I forgot about that. Oh, we are lucky to have all of our eyeballs.
Well, we had patches, so that helped a little.
We had patches, and we also had wooden swords that Ben made for us.
That was pretty awesome. I still have a wooden sword somewhere in a closet in Wisconsin.
So anyways, we've got someone waiting in the Skype waiting room. We've got Josh Preston from Me and the Machine Records.
Awesome. Should we invite him in?
I think we should. Hey, Josh, how are you?
Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
I'm good.
The lights start to dim and the apocalypse begins. Hell will make a cameo appearance. What you did was bad, but what your neighbors did was worse. Now we're all swimming towards the end of the world.
So we're talking about jobs. So what's your current job?
Well, I actually I wear many hats. My day gig is for a label called Oh Boy Records, which is John Prine's label. He's a singer-songwriter, really incredible guy. So I do that during the day, and then in the evenings, I run a studio and also an indie record label called Me and the Machine Records. And so that between the two of those things, I keep very, very busy. And I'm a performer as well, a singer-songwriter and also a guitar player. And I play with a lot of the artists that are on Me and the Machine.
Wow. So you're busy.
I'm very busy.
So what was the first job you ever had?
Oh, wow. Well, my dad is a fisherman in Maine. So the first kind of unofficial job I ever had was working on the back of a boat, which I did about 2 or 3 times, and then I started doing really well in school because that work is brutal. But it was a great learning experience, and my dad's still doing it. You know, lobster fishes in the summertime and scallops and sea urchins in the winter. So yeah, it's a weird, crazy gig. There aren't many of those left in the world, you know. So.
Yeah, and it's odd because one of the other people I interviewed about jobs also had worked on a boat. and you guys are the only two people I've ever talked to who worked on boats.
Oh, that's wild. That's very interesting.
So what did you do on the boat?
Just kind of help clean up and that sort of thing, and picked through stuff and shelled scallops and that sort of thing. So it's not glamorous work, but it's fun. It's very interesting.
So what's the best job you've ever had?
Probably the group of jobs I have now. I have the ability to work with incredible artists, and I get to make music that I want to make, and just be around good people, and it's and that, at the end of the day, that's really the most important thing.
Would you say it's your dream job?
Well, my dream job would be to not have a job at all. Very lazy by nature. No, yeah, I mean it's right up there. It really, really is. I mean, I get to experiment with stuff, and both of the labels are fairly small indie labels, so we get to do things that a lot of other bigger companies and stuff don't necessarily get to do, and can experiment with things a little more freely than say a lot of the larger labels. So that's really cool.
What do you do specifically at the labels?
With Me and the Machine. I guess, well, starting with Oh Boy, I do most of like the royalties and that sort of thing, publishing stuff, contract stuff, all of our digital distribution. I kind of deal with all of those things. So it's a small. I mean, I think there are 4 or 5 full-time employees, so it's very small. So I get to wear a lot of hats, from like proofing artwork to dealing with mail order stuff, and it's pretty wild. But for Me and the Machine, it's really literally everything. I mean, from recording and engineering stuff for the vast majority of the artists on the label, to promotion, digital, like setting up digital distribution agreements and that sort of thing. And it's not glamorous, but it's fun.
What's the worst job you ever had? You don't have to name any names.
Oh, you know what? For literally, I think it was about for 4 or 5 hours one night, I was the host of a comedy club in Boston, and or not like the host, but like a dude that like seats people and that sort of thing. And I literally lasted for about 4 or 5 hours, and I had to wear kind of like a bow tie get up with like a white like frilly shirt, and it absolutely utterly freaked me out. So I quit almost immediately. Actually, I did quit immediately.
Was it the outfit that did it, or?
I think it was a combination of the outfit, and the comics were absolutely terrible. So it was kind of it was just a nightmare all the way around, and so I got out of there as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah, I had to wear a similar outfit at my first job at a movie theater.
Ah, excellent.
I'm wearing a bow tie and I'm getting paid $5.25 an hour.
There's something inherently wrong with that.
Yeah. So what's one job that you would never do?
One job that I would never do would definitely be a male model, just because I'm totally not qualified. But I don't know. I mean, I'm fairly open to anything, and I think having worked in the music industry as long as I have, like, you just kind of have to be open to stuff. So yeah, I can't really put a parameter on anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah. What's one job that you would really, really like to do if given the opportunity?
I mean, just with music and that sort of thing, I'm kind of able to do a lot of the stuff that I want to do. On top of that, I mean, I kind of wish I knew how to code. Like, that kind of stuff really intrigues me, and I'm learning a little bit here and there. Yeah, I consider myself very, very lucky and very fortunate to be able to really do what I want to do.
How often do you play music?
Lately, it's been probably 3 or 4 shows a week. It's been really, really insane with a lot of the artists that I've been playing with. But on top of doing live shows, I mean, in the studio, I'm always kind of tinkering around on something, whether it's, like programming drums or like, playing guitar or bass part or something like that. I'm always kind of playing in the studio as well. So, I mean, it's literally, at least over the past 6 to 8 months, it's been nearly every night of the week I'm doing something musical, which is awesome.
Wow. So which acts do you play with?
I'm currently performing with Nathan Griffin, who is a singer-songwriter, definitely more on like the bluesy, funky kind of side of things, as well as Adam Burrows, singer-songwriter as well. Really, really great lyricist and just a great finger-picking kind of guitar player. And also James David Wolfe and Brian James. So pretty much everybody on the label I've been playing with in some either large or small capacity for quite a while.
Do you have any like crazy work stories?
I guess one time when I was working in Boston for this little music store called E. Wurlitzer, and they were there's like a chain of a bunch of them, but the one I worked at was on Mass Ave, and it was underground, and it was just filthy. Like it smelled terrible, and it was gross, and everybody I worked with was crazy and drunk for most of the time, and it was absolutely fantastic. But I was sitting out in kind of the front area one day, and I heard my boss just kind of scream like a schoolgirl, and the door to his office flew open, and he's kind of racing backwards with a can of Raid and a like a dustpan, hitting and spraying this cockroach at the same time, and it was like a small horse. It was one of the most insane cockroaches I've ever seen, and he was literally hitting the cockroach, and it was still lurching forward, and it was really gross and really scary, but it was pretty fantastic.
Oh my gosh. I've worked in some restaurants where most restaurants at some point have had a cockroach in them, you know.
Absolutely.
Luckily, I've never seen a very big one. They've all been like baby cockroaches. I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I saw one that big.
Well, before moving to Nashville, I lived in New York for about 5 years as well, and man, I mean, it gets so gross there. The cockroach scene is just absolutely disgusting.
Lindsay, you should have seen the roach that was in the bathroom of where I used to work in Manhattan. I mistook it for a mouse the first time.
Oh my gosh. The pigeons are pretty bad there. I imagine the cockroaches would be too.
It's very true. One day, but the two will team up and take over the city. I'm fairly sure of it.
Oh my gosh. It'll be the end of the world. Maybe that's what'll happen in December.
Ah, yes, absolutely. They'll snack on Twinkies until time ends.
How many different jobs have you had?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I was really lucky in pretty much every city I ever lived in. I was able to pretty much hold on to the same gig. I'm not a big job hopper, which I guess is probably technically a bad thing. I don't know, but I dig where I work. You know, I've just been really lucky, and I've just stayed with those places for as long as possible, and until it was time to move on. But you know, for the last 10 or 15 years, they've all been kind of music related jobs, and I guess maybe even before that, like in college and stuff, I was able to work at a music store, and I worked at the college as well, you know, doing music things. So yeah, it's maybe 5 or 6 jobs altogether, I guess.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a job hopper, I guess you'd say it myself, which isn't something I'm necessarily proud of, but it's just kind of the way it's been being in school. So.
Ah, yes, absolutely.
I'm a lifer in the university system.
Excellent.
Have you seen that show that, like, people take other people's lives for a day or their jobs for a day? I mean, I'm sure there's like 5 of them.
Right, absolutely. There was one, and I haven't seen it in a while, but it was like Undercover Boss or something, where the CEO would you know, put on work clothes and go work with the people and stuff, and it was really very strange, but yeah, it was amazing how kind of disconnected they were from everything and all of that. But yeah, I don't think I could switch jobs just for a day or two. That would freak me out. I mean, it would take me, you know, a week to kind of get going anyway, to figure out where everything is, and
you wouldn't know how to do the job.
Yeah, totally.
Well, and the wife swapping shows too. I'm just like, why would you sign up for that?
Yeah, that stuff is so disturbing, and like the wife swap, and like a lot of times it's not even like the couples that are so bad. Like the children are just nasty little human beings. Like they can just get so terrifyingly, insane. Like, there's no discipline, and so, the new wife comes in and there's still no discipline, and it's just, that stuff makes me absolutely crazy.
I know. I mean, it makes for good TV.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. How do you people live like that? Do you have anything that you'd like to plug before we end here?
I guess, if folks want to check out meandthemachine.com, that's where kind of everything lives that I've been really working on. So it's definitely worth checking out. And there's music and videos and all of that kind of stuff, and people can learn more about the artists, and yeah, so meandthemachine.com. I guess that's it.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Josh.
Thanks. Take care.
Yep, you too.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wouldn't miss this for the world, but I might be a little late, 'cause I have a hard time getting out of bed these days. You probably noticed. Thanks for saving me a seat. I'm so happy I am able to sit comfortably. I'll try not to move, and if I do, I'm truly sorry. Please excuse me. The lights start to dim and the apocalypse begins. Hell will make a cameo appearance. What you did was bad, but what your neighbors did was worse. Now we're all swimming towards the end of the world. Went once or twice to the DMV. This is really nothing compared to that. The headless horsemen don't even need a license, and they're f***ing headless. Fire and brimstone are raining down. I needed to go and get new wipers anyway. This used car looked like new, now it's a flaming ball of goo. I'm concerned if this is covered by my insurance, 'cause all I have is minimum coverage. The lights start to dim and the apocalypse begins. Hell will make a cameo appearance. What you did was bad, but what your neighbors did was worse. Now we're all swimming towards the end of the world. Bring extra floaties. Bring extra floaties. Bring extra floaties. You'll probably need them.
This has been Hot Sauce, brought to you by PlainKetchupPodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and comment on iTunes. Check back every Monday for a new celebrity guest interview. You may also want to check out our hilarious Wednesday videos on youtube.com/PlainKetchup. That's PlainKetchup. Sign up for our newsletter on PlainKetchupPodcast.com to be entered into our monthly drawings. We give away t-shirts, music, stickers, and more from our guests. Please like us on Facebook.com/PlainKetchup and follow us on Twitter @PlainKetchup. Don't forget to support this project by buying Plain Ketchup swag at our Cafe Press store. Have a question? Email Jamie and Lindsay at gmail.com. That's JAIME and LINDSEY at gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Stay saucy.